Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Suzanne Landis. My pronouns are she, hers, and I am your worship associate this morning. Welcome to all who are here in this sanctuary and all who are joining us online. And welcome to Patty Fitchett, who will be leading our service this morning. Together we claim and celebrate the promise of our UU faith that all of who we are is welcome in this co-created sacred space. Our mission as a church speaks of hope, transformation, and respect. Our faith is centered always in love. Together, we journey toward wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community that reaches far beyond our doors. As people committed to the work of justice, we covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We unite in solidarity with all who are being marginalized, rejected, silenced, and kept from fully being who they are. We are the Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church, and at this critical moment in history, we hear the call to stand strong, to lead with courage, and to love as though our lives depend on it. Our theme for the month of May is imagination. Hear these words from Sharon Wiley. Let this be the place you consider what you never considered. Let this be the place you imagine for yourself something new and unthinkable. May this hour bring dreams of new ways of being in the world. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. I would like to invite Cody, and actually I would like to invite the rest of the children to all come forward at this time to support Cody while he lights the chalice. Come on down. All right, come on forward. You can go down here or you can come forward right here. All right. Go right over here to our usual place with Leanne. Thanks, folks. We light our chalice, imagining what lies in the liminal space between the flame and its circle, what dwells in the interstitial space between the cracks in our lives' pavements, and the threads of our day's fabrics, what meanings are hidden between the words that we know and those we have yet to conceptualize, what compassion flutters between me and you and all of us, between the known and the mystery, and we color it all with love.
And now it's time for the message for all ages. So this morning I'm going to read you this book called Do Not Go In There, written by Ariel Horn. And it's about how sometimes people imagine things that might happen that are scary or bad, and other people use their imagination to imagine things that are happy and good things that could happen. Don't go in there. But that gold doorknob is so shiny. I want to touch it. Don't go in there. There is probably a scary wolf with beady eyes who eats bunnies for supper in there. But look how red the door is. Oh, what if it's like a scratch and sniff sticker and it smells like candy? Trust me, do not go in there. There's got to be a wolf behind that door. There's always a scary wolf in those kinds of stories. No, this is a happy kind of story. I bet there are fireworks and party balloons behind that door and robots who are in a robot band. Do not go in there. Maybe that scary wolf was lonely, so he invited his evil twin to join him, and they're collecting every fork in the world. So there are lots of pointy things in there, and you could get hurt. Is it like a fortress with a gumdrop castle? I bet there's a chocolate syrup moat with graham cracker boats. No, the forks are for the spaceship the wolf and his twin are building. Once they eat all the bunnies on Earth, they will have to look for bunnies on other planets. Maybe there is a spaceship in there with buttons that we can press. No, there are wolves, do you hear me? There are wolves. Snuggly, soft puppies. Not wolves, puppies. Puppies going into outer space for the very first time, with names like Captain Chewy and Mr. Slappy, with puppy-sized space helmets. We cannot go in there. The scary wolf and evil twin spaceship probably just caught fire, and the fire will spread if you open the door. We can make s'mores. If the fire spreads, we are all doomed. But if we stop the fire, we are all saved. And there might be a carnival with those spinny rides that make us dizzy. Or a magic wand that can make us invisible. Or a room where we can color all over the walls with permanent markers. Let's go in there. So how many of you would go in the door? Not sure? So you peek in first, that's probably a good idea. Okay, it's time for the children's blessing. We are blessed. We are blessed by being. We are blessed by being here. We are blessed by being here together.
Part of being in community is sharing our lives with one another. When we gather, we bring with us the joys and the sorrows that are on our hearts, and being here reminds us that we do not hold them alone. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to speak out loud at the mic, you are invited to come forward first, or raise your hand and a microphone will be brought to you. When spoken joys and sorrows are complete, those who wish to light a candle for silent joys and sorrows may then come forward. Just a reminder that our service is streamed online, so sharing at the mic can be heard by the larger community beyond these walls.
Good morning, I'm Rachel Troba. With all the fears that we are facing out there in the world, I have a bit of joy occurring on my balcony. I discovered that a robin was trying to build her nest on a chair that I had out there, and it was in the wind. And I thought, it's not going to last. So I tiptoed out there, and I moved the nest to a more secure location, and she came back, and she's been building. And I watched her technique, which is very interesting. And I think now that she's putting bits of mud in there, and every time she brings something, she scoots down and nestles in the nest, and I think she'll make a wonderful home for her chicks.
Hi, Mary Beth Selicki. I have a real joy to share, and thank you to Mark Summer and to all the people that our Peace Learning Circles is getting the Mahone Award this year, and it's because of having it again in Racine and Kenosha. And we've done 68 workshops this fall, and we hope to continue to do more. So thank you to Mark and all the good stuff that's happening with kids.
My name is Don. Before remember, I just joined this church about a couple months ago, and past Easter, it wasn't a very good Easter for me. I was down, depressed, and had had thoughts of hurt myself. And there was someone in the choir member, and I hope you don't get offended by this, but I'd like him to stand because he brightened my day much better, and he was there for me. He knew what I would do. He talked to me and comforted me, and it was just a good feeling to know that someone cared. And he was willing to join the hospital if I needed to. I didn't go because I helped cheer me up. So I had plans that afternoon to go to my cousin's for Easter and then my sister's house, so I didn't have him going, but it wasn't for him, that day would have been turned out a mess. So I really appreciate Ed from the choir helped me out and making me carry on, making me go through it, because it was really tough that Easter day, the holiday. So appreciate him and appreciate it. Since I've been in this church, I know you guys are a caring church, and I appreciate all your kindness and care. Thanks a lot.
We light one more candle for the joys and the sorrows that are on the hearts of our beloveds online. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding us. Please join with us now in singing There is a Love. The words are in your order of service.
Good morning. My name is Patty Fitchett. My pronouns are she and her. I am the Director of Community Worship at Bradford Community Church Unitarian Universalist, your sibling congregation down in Kenosha. Our opening reading this morning comes from Thoughts from a Gentle Atheist. That's all I could find as far as an author, so here we go. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition does not favor one particular opinion about God or no God, about life after death, or about what that kind of language even ought to mean. We believe it is not the role of a church or a minister to tell people what to think. We do, however, suggest that a person ought to think something. There is wonderful mystery to the universe, the puzzles of life and death, and the cosmos in which they play out are deeper than any single human mind. Our religion invites us to enter in and explore all the wonder, all the mystery. It is not about one faith being right while another faith is wrong. It is that sincere people of different faiths have much to teach one another, if only we can cease from arguing long enough to listen and be taught. And so please rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn, number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning.
Sing we are our joy we sing, returning home to our blue-green hills of earth.
There are many ways that we give to the life of our church, and our monetary offering is just one of those ways. Each month we partner with a local congregation that is doing good work in our community and share the money that we gather. Our partner for the month of May is Hawthorne Hollow Nature Center. Here this morning to tell us about this organization is Ryan Retzky. Welcome, Ryan.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let me adjust this. Good morning. So, my name is Ryan Retzky. My pronouns are he and him. And I am the education manager and naturalist at Hawthorne Hollow. And I really wanted to just thank everyone for your support of Hawthorne Hollow's growing environmental education programs. For over 50 years now, Hawthorne Hollow has been operated by the Hyslop Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. It has been a place where learning comes to life in nature. It's nestled in the Pike River Valley, and we have over 89 acres of forest, prairies, arboretum, and historic buildings for people to explore and learn in. Today, I really would like to highlight our fastest growing program, Pollywog Pond and Forest Discovery. This hands-on experience starts in Pollywog Pond, where students explore firsthand habitats and observe things like fish, insects, amphibians, and even aquatic invertebrates. They also learn about the life cycle of the frog and the toad. So from there, the journey continues, and they go on trails in search of identifying plants and looking for clues of animals. The program was designed primarily for elementary age students. However, it can be easily adapted to all ages, and we're really excited this year to even offer the program as an adult and family offering since it has been so successful for us, and to further engage the community further. Your support will help us enhance this experience, allowing us to purchase essential supplies, things like nets, critter catchers, identification tools. Because turtles are also so often a highlight of this program, we're actually hoping to create a floating island for turtles. So this will allow for a safe and visible spot for students to learn about turtles and keep the turtles safe as well. Pollywog Pond and Forest Discovery is more than just a field trip. It is a chance to spark curiosity and environmental responsibility and allow students to build a connection with nature. This opportunity will allow us to continue to inspire and to educate. Thank you very much.
Our spiritual famine has concluded. We are just beginning to restore the honor of the imagination. Episcopal priest Lauren Artress writes, artists, poets, and writers of all stripes reverence this faculty. As the expression of our creativity, it enables us to boldly explore the world. I am certain of nothing but the holiness of the heart's affectations and the truth of the imagination, English poet John Keats declares. It is his passport to both the inner and outer depths of things. Another English poet, Percy Shelley, asserts, the great instrument of moral good is imagination. We often forget that there are creative ways of bringing about change in our communities and society at large. When Jesus suggested that we love our enemies, he was imaginatively expanding our concept of what it means to be a good person. When Swiss psychologist Jung asked us to love those parts of ourselves that we find unappealing and dreadful, he imaginatively challenged us to take a new path to personal renewal. English children's book writer C.S. Lewis describes imagination as the organ for meaning. It is the faculty that enables us to go beneath the surface to plumb the depths of our experience. Imagination also makes mystics of us all by encouraging us to put things together in new combinations. Imagination is the secret marrow of civilization. It's the very eye of faith. There is no life of the spirit without the imagination, psychoanalyst Anne Ulanoff writes. It opens up our eyes to new readings of the significance of our surroundings. A tree is not only a beautiful part of nature, but also a spiritual teacher. A clothespin is not only a practical object, but a devotional resource when it sets the stage for meditation while we're hanging up the wash. And a TV show is not just a source of entertainment, but a gateway to spiritual transformation when we choose to make it so. Imagination helps us to become all that we're meant to be as we take new routes into the world, explore creative ways of reframing our experiences, and use spiritual literacy to find meaning all around us. And so imagination's greatest gift is improvement. At least that's what we're taught. Its deep magic lies in the way that it can reshape our reality. We're urged to imagine the world that we dream of, a world with more justice, more peace, more love. From that, a mysterious magnetism arises, a magnetism that pulls our imperfect present into an improved future. Imagination moves us forward. It makes our world and us better. Yet there's a way in which this view of imagination impoverishes us. It steals the stage and shuts out imagination's other precious gifts. For instance, think of what happened when a number of us got out of bed this morning. After a shower, we didn't just pull on fresh clothes. We likely pulled out a jewelry box and slipped on our grandmother's ring. As we slid it on our finger, she slid not just into our memory, but into our day. Now, because of imagination, we aren't just elegant, we're accompanied. Or how about the invisible friend we had when we were children? Imagination made sure that we didn't travel through those early years alone. It conjured up that loyal friend so we had someone by our side. Even today, amidst the hustle and bustle of adult life, tell me you don't hear the guidance of ancestors when challenges arise. It's all one giant reminder that imagination doesn't just improve our lives, it populates it. It also illuminates it. Imagination isn't just a force that drives us forward toward a better future. It also pulls the sacred into our impoverished present. Imagination is what transforms trees from potential firewood into wise friends. Imagination is what moves us from lording over the natural world to seeing ourselves as part of it. Or to put it another way, imagination is what gives the world a soul. And not just the natural world, but the ordinary world too. Through the lens of imagination, everyday experience becomes precious, even mystical. For instance, the laughter of our children becomes the sound of angels. Sunshine on our face becomes a way that life expresses its love for us. The ocean is able to speak, telling us that we are freer and have more choices than we think. And a simple act of kindness from a stranger shimmers, and through it life says to our burdened heart, "This too shall pass, everything will be okay." Yes, this is what imagination does. It enables us to hear the world speak. But imagination has a dark side. Like in Leanne's story, "Don't go in there." Here's a quote from Beatrice Brutto. "Our problems with unhappiness are rooted in the imagination. For instance, we can interpret someone's accidental sharp tone of voice as an unfriendly reaction to ourselves, begin to give that person life in our imagination as someone who doesn't like us. Therefore, be on the lookout for subsequent evidence of hostility. Be ready to interpret everything that happens in that light. And of course, ourselves show distrust and unfriendliness in turn, which naturally have their effect on the other person. And so by building this thing up in our imagination, we can develop a whole atmosphere and relationship of hostility that may be completely false and unnecessary because it all began from something quite accidental. Similarly, by persistently thinking well of persons, looking for good traits in them, imagining them as pleasant and agreeable, well-disposed toward ourselves, we will enable ourselves to behave in a naturally friendly way to them and elicit friendly responses. I'm just going to grab my water here. And imagination can be even more insidious than that, as Adrienne Marie Brown tells us. She says, "We are in an imagination battle. Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, and Renisha McBride, and so many others are dead because in some white imagination they were dangerous. Imagination has people thinking they can go from being poor to a millionaire as part of a shared American dream. Imagination turns brown bombers into terrorists and white bombers into mentally ill victims. Imagination gives us borders, gives us superiority, gives us race as an indicator of ability. She says, I often feel I am trapped inside someone else's capability. I often feel I am trapped inside someone else's imagination, and I must engage my own imagination in order to break free. And finally, Robert Fulghum, the great UU author and minister, says, I believe that imagination is stronger than knowledge, that myth is more potent than history, that dreams are more powerful than facts, that hope always triumphs over experience. And so I'm sure that many of you have heard down at Bradford Church that our minister, Rev. Eric, is not renewing his contract. So he'll be leaving at the end of June this year. And this is a rough one for me. I was on the search committee with my youngest son that brought him to Bradford 9 years ago. And when I told my oldest son that Rev. Eric was leaving, he said, oh, bummer. He's one of the few people that actually gets you. And I thought, wow, kind of hurtful, but super apt. So you never know when you're going to find yourself in a position of, wow, now what? And so it was funny because Leanne had, when we were picking stories for all ages, you know, she always asks me way ahead of time, do you have any ideas? And I usually say, I have no ideas, Leanne. You have a billion ideas. What do you think? And so she sent me a few things, and when she sent me that one, I picked it right away because I'm always the monster who says, oh my God, no, horrible things are going to happen. Oh, well, that could happen, and that could happen, and that could happen. And luckily, I have friends who are like the other monster that say, oh no, wonderful things. There could be cotton candy, and you know. And luckily, we all balance each other out. So it was very funny that video was chosen before I had heard about Reverend Eric leaving. So. But I do have a reading. I subscribe to a Substack by a woman named Kimberly Debus, and it's called the Hold My Chalice Substack, and it's for UU leaders. And this one was very apt about congregational issues, and just when you think everything's going along just fine, the other shoe drops. So it applied to us, it applied to you, it applied to churches all along the United States. So I thought I'd share this with you too. She says, I've noticed a pattern. Imagine, if you will, a congregation that had gone through some sort of problem period or a transition, something that causes long-term members to remember with a wince about how hard it was at that time. Now, that congregation has decided to turn toward health, and with the help of leaders and ministers, they've done a whole lot of work to address how they've been feeling and how they reacted as a result, and how they can do better with each other and for each other. Leadership is on board. Committees are shifting their work toward health. The choir's more joyous. Coffee hour is a time to be enjoyed, not dreaded. respected, meetings feel productive, and there's a general sense that everyone has made a turn from the things that were so hard, and then something happens. It doesn't matter what the thing is. If it's something leaves, a building breaks, there's something with a staff member. It doesn't matter what the thing is, but something happens. And the people who fought the most for a turn toward health find themselves the targets. What seemed like health just a few months before is now such a rat's nest that it's a wonder that anything good ever happened at all. And often it is the change agents who find their proverbial heads on the chopping blocks. Where is the health gone? Why is it so hard to sustain? And how did it all go to crap so fast? So religious communities, institutions that seem so solid and permanent, thrive on the razor's edge between health and disarray. Right relationship and healing don't just magically appear, especially after something big has happened. Congregational health, like any relationship, takes work. That razor's edge is a doozy, and it takes concentration and attention to stay balanced. Too many congregations fail to maintain balance because there's someone or a group of someones who are so unhappy that they simply speak a word and the air from their mouths tip the balance. I have no easy solutions here. She says, it is hard work, it is careful work, it is thoughtful work, and it requires vigilance. Being vigilant to ensure the work is going well, and being vigilant to ensure that the disgruntled or freaked out don't cause the whole thing to fall down. Systemic health is a long project and a constant journey, but it can be done. We know of many congregations that have. These are the ones who put good practices and processes in place to include everyone to hear dissent, to emphasize relationship over rightness. They assess regularly, consider what's going well and what's at risk, and preference community, connection, and communication over anxiety, anger, and fear. It's hard work, it's careful work, it's thoughtful work. But in the end, these are the congregations that genuinely like each other, that enjoy each other's company, and support their leaders and their staff. And I promise you, it's worth it. And so once again, we're all left with the job of being in the present and imagining the future with love. I read once that it's possible to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. And I choose to believe that. And so I offer you this blessing. It's called a blessing of angels. And I invite you to imagine angels in whatever way brings you strength and comfort. May the angels in their beauty bless you. May they turn toward you streams of blessing. May the angel of awakening stir your heart to come alive to the eternal within you, to all the invitations that quietly surround you. May the angel of healing turn your wounds into sources of refreshment. May the angel of the imagination enable you to stand on the true thresholds at ease with your ambivalence and drawn in new direction through the glow of your contradictions. May the angel of compassion open your eyes to the unseen suffering around you. May the angel of wildness disturb the places where your life is domesticated and safe, take you to the territories of true otherness, where all that is awkward in you can fall into its own rhythm. May the angel of Eros introduce you to the beauty of your senses, to celebrate your inheritance as a temple of the Holy Spirit. May the angel of justice disturb you to take the side of the poor and the wronged. May the angel of encouragement confirm you in worth and self-respect, that you may live with the dignity that presides in your soul. May the angel of death arrive only when your life is complete and you have brought every given gift to the threshold where its infinity can shine. May all the angels be your sheltering and joyful guardians. Amen. And now please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing all of the verses of hymn number 298, Wake Now My Senses. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the light. Join with all people whose rights are denied. They be granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. Wake now, bright Though the flame is extinguished, the embers of imagination remain. Carry them forward. Dream boldly, act with love, and rekindle new fires in the world. Our benediction is by Reverend Terry Dennehy. Imagine we have arrived. Imagine the lush river cannot swallow us or drown out the voices of our hearts. We have come to these eagle-nested shores to celebrate with the drums of dancing feet. We have come, a gathering of wings, arising out of the hard shells of loneliness and into the streets, out of the violence and the rush of the trains and the drives between, out of the pain in the waiting rooms and the classrooms and the boardrooms and the bedrooms. We are birthing into light. We are holding our palms to the sky, awake and amazed that we can trust the hush, the hum, the hands we fall into like waves. We are listening to the sighs, to the aches of our histories, to the silences pinched beneath skins. We are learning how to speak our own names, soft and slow now, turned over and over in our mouths until they shine on our tongues like silver pearls, until something inside us is a sail, is gratitude, billowing free. Amen.
Too bad we couldn't have heard it with the rest of the group like they did at the first service. It was good. If you need to reference the monthly Unifier email, there is a link in each Sunday's email that will take you to it. And for future reference, we do have hearing assist devices available if anybody would need that. Unfortunately, now's not a good time to announce that, but for next time. Free books. Come to the RE Library next to the bathrooms at the 625 College Avenue building and take books from the RE Library today from 12:15 to 1 o'clock. There are a lot of children's books and many UU-related adult books. Leftover books will be put into the little library in front of 625. Today is the deadline for paper raise right orders. See me if you need a form. Our annual congregational meeting will be June 8th at 10 a.m. downstairs. Annual reports are due in the church office by May 25th. May 25th is also the deadline to get news, announcements, and community events to the office for the June Unifier. For more information and details about some of these announcements, along with others and community announcements, see your monthly and Sunday emails. Thank you to our volunteers today, our ushers, Joe Cushing and Kathy Carson, our Zoom host, Maria Scott, our coffee hour hosts, Fred and Claire Cross, Jan Carter, and Lisa Scott Patak. We could use one more volunteer for next Sunday. The sign-up clipboard is on the treat table. That's all for announcements. Please join us for coffee hour in Erman Hall. For those on YouTube, log into Zoom. The link is in today's email.